it's me, Canadiensis, and today is one of those sit down and chit chat type videos. If those aren't for you, I am so sorry. Bye. I might not get to a point. I might weave around my point a bunch of times before finally getting there and then saying for real this time 4 times. If that's not for you, it's okay, I get it. It's fine. You can go. I promise I won't be mad. Anyway, today, this is actually a big part of collecting for me. I've gotten a lot of flack for this in the past, and it's something I feel very strongly about, and doesn't really get talked about a lot, because these two... Okay, we're gonna preface this. I saw this as I was falling asleep one night. It takes me forever to fall asleep sometimes, and I just sit and think. So, this was last night's sit and think sesh, if you were wondering. But I need to preface this by saying that doll collecting kind of has 2 big leagues among, like, the collectors, not just the doll audience who's just enjoying dolls and don't consider themselves collectors, which, again, they're not lesser. I think one time I didn't make that 100% clear. Obviously, people who are playing with their dolls are not lesser than collectors, and I still consider them collectors, to be honest with you, but it's fine. I'm just talking about people who would put collector in their bio. There's the people who like to collect for value. They like keeping the dolls in box. They like just having boxes on their shelves. They don't really care for the dolls themselves. They don't really want to touch them or play with them or anything. And there's nothing lesser about that. I want to make that abundantly clear, because a lot of times when I see infighting between the 2 leagues of doll collectors, it's like, you don't actually like dolls because you don't touch yours. I don't care. I don't believe that. You can do what you want with them. You're spending your money and your time on something. You shouldn't let other people dictate what you do with it. That's weird, right? That's really weird. And then the other camp is the people who like to play with them, they like to photograph them, they like to pose them, they like to customize them, whatever it may be, display them. There's probably a lot more people in this camp just because there's a more varied amount of interest there. There's also dolls like all my Japanese dolls. If you don't unbox those, you're not gonna get anything out of them. They're in like a cardboard box wrapped in bubble wrap. You're never gonna actually see the doll if you don't open it. So I feel like this is a very uniquely like Western, I don't like saying like Western and Eastern and stuff, but you know what I mean? Like the Western toy market is very much like putting things in these pretty packages for you, trying to catch you with the packaging and sell you a like heirloom that you leave in the box. Whereas with most like Eastern, I really don't want to say that again, but I hope this makes sense. With most like dolls in a lot of the rest of the world, they're just, you buy this, you can open and enjoy it because it's a doll, you know? There's less of this like heirloom quality to them. So this is very much like a Western thing. Anyway, for starters, I want to just say why I open my dolls, because I've gotten a lot of controversy for this, for some reason. First of all, I want to say I don't care at all. It doesn't affect me when people get mad at me for opening things. I honestly think it's funny. I always respond, I'm gonna pee on this and on video next, just to make you suffer. Because, to me, if you spent your money on something, it's yours. I do not care what you do with it. If you light it on fire, whatever, that's fine. You bought it, you do what you want to enjoy it. Obviously, if you're just doing things to bother people, you're gonna get, some controversy, that's different. But, like, if you buy something, do what you want with it. There's this weird culture in doll collecting of, it's very much just like openly being extremely jealous and childish towards people, where if somebody has 2 of a doll you want, the people will be like, you don't deserve that one. Or if somebody opens a doll that you want, oh, I wouldn't have opened that, you're ruining its value and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like, you do realize we're back in kindergarten, we're like spitting insults at people over what they do with their toys. And it really starts to fall apart when you go there. Another YouTuber whose username is something like DisneyFather72, I don't remember, started a big thing with me, because I opened my premiere Snow White doll, basically just insulted me multiple times and just made this big thing about it, how much of a spectacle I was and how much of like, how disgusting what I was doing was, and I was just so taken aback by that, because that was my first Disney limited edition doll, so, well, it was my 3rd one, or 4th one actually, but it was the first one I uploaded an opening video of. It was the 2nd one I ever had open, and it was the first one I opened myself. And I thought that was so strange. I understand that it's like a rarer doll and it has value or whatever, but if that value to me, when I spent my $140 on her, or whatever she cost at the time, that was what I wanted to do with her. I wanted to take pictures of her, I wanted to pose her, I just wanted to see her, I wanted to touch her outfit. and that was my choice of what to do with my investment. Ultimately, I don't want to sell my dolls. If I do sell them, I can easily get retail or more back out of the box, so it doesn't really matter to me. I'm not really collecting them to make money. If you are, that's fine, but there's a fundamental difference here. So if you judge another collector based on the way that you collect, it's just kind of weird, right? I don't know. It's just like judging someone who doesn't like a certain food that you like. Just like, how could you not like mashed potatoes with the weird green things in them? Oh my god, I can't believe it. That's my favorite thing in the world. It's just like, I don't know, I just don't. Like, I can't help it. I don't know. It's so bizarre, and I don't know why people feel the need to kind of push their opinions and things on people when it's something as harmless as the way they enjoy collecting their dolls. I don't know. But anyway, I kind of wanted to talk about, because I have not counted. This is just throwing a number at the wall. I probably have $1,000 in my collection at this point. I would love to count, but we are not to the point where I can count yet. We'll get there though, trust me. And I maybe have like 25 in the box, maybe. So, you know, that's a really small percentage of them that I've kept in the box over the years. And I kind of want to talk about the ones that I've kept in the box and why. So, first of all, several of them were just ones that ended up being doubles, and I was just like, well, I like the box, so I'll keep them. So all of my Monster High dolls in the box, with the exception of my Comic-Con one that my best friend from high school, Sharon, bought her for me for Christmas one year. And to me, that doll, it's this cedarwood marionette doll. That doll looks so good in the box. The box is like a stage for her, and she's like a marionette, so she's supposed to be hung so you can use the little puppet strings. I felt like taking her out, I wouldn't be able to display her like she is in the box, so I chose to leave her in the box. It has nothing to do with her value or anything. I think she's actually not even worth that much to this day. I have no idea. I don't really check on it. If I were to get the other Ever After High limited edition San Diego dolls, I would take them out of the box. Because to me, leaving them in the box would not have the same enjoyment factor as leaving them in. There are some dolls that I get, like I actually just bought one who's coming in the mail, and I want to make a video about her, but I am actually leaving her in the box, so it'll be a very short video, but I'm still gonna do it. I'll find something else to talk about in the video. But she was kind of the inspiration for this, because I was immediately like, oh, I'm leaving that one in the box, but it's just a normal Playline doll, it's just a vintage one. And I was like, oh, I'm leaving that one in the box. And my reasoning for that, and this happens with all of my Ever After Highs that I have in box, it's just, if I can get her out of box relatively easily, then I'm not going to take her out of the box. If I do want her in box anyway. So with my Mycene dolls, I buy them in box and unbox them sometimes because I want all of their accessories. And they're relatively common in box, I don't see an issue. But with some dolls, it's like, I'm never going to find that doll in the box again, so I might as well keep the one I have in the box, get one out of box, and then I have both, and it will be cool. Because some dolls, for example, this, Bratz World Collector's Mei Lin doll. This is actually my mom's from when I was a kid. She gave her to me and said I can't open her. So that's helping the situation. That helped me make my decision. But regardless, I don't think I would open this doll unless her box was completely smashed. This one does have a flaw, so if I get another one, I'll open this one. Because it has this crease here that kind of drives me crazy. But this doll comes in this really interesting box, and she's really cool. And if I were to display her on a shelf, she would still be really cool. But I think this box is just so... it adds so much to the doll. I really like dolls who come in boxes that add to them. I feel like most Bratz dolls do. But then my other boxed Bratz doll, I actually have 3, but my other one's like a, kind of like a sample, so I'm not going to open her. But this one is just a random Bratz release. Her box isn't really special. There's like stuff loose. She has a yellowed bubble. I'm going to open this doll. And I don't really see an issue with opening this doll. I'm excited about it. Stay tuned for that video someday. So to me, there's like, but still, opening this doll, there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just saying for me, sometimes when I leave stuff in the box, it's simply because they come in a pretty box. The majority of my boxed doll collection actually is Rainbow High, and it's just because they're on the shelves right now. I really like them. I work several jobs, so I have extra income, and whenever I can afford it, or whenever I just feel like it, I go and buy a double of a Rainbow High doll in the box. Just because I like having them in the box. I think they're cool. I think 5 years from now I'll really enjoy that I did that. If I choose to sell them, great. I probably won't though, because I just like having them in the box. I think it's fun. Because Rainbow High dolls come in really nice boxes, you know? And the alternative to that, and I'll tell you I used to do this, was when I started collecting way back when Monster High was really big. So like, I think I started collecting Monster High in 2011, but it might have been like early 2012. I swear it was July of 2012, but what if it was July of 2011? I don't remember. Anyway, started collecting Monster High. No, it was 2011. It must have been. Sorry. Whenever I started collecting Monster High. Whenever that was, I was on a collector's forum for Monster High. I was originally on a My Little Pony one, but then it branched off into a Monster High one, and I joined both because I was mutually interested in them. And that's kind of how I got into Monster High. And a lot of the collectors on there were keeping the boxes for the Monster High dolls. And I was like, I get it. They'll be worth more. I'm gonna keep the boxes too. I had stacks and stacks and stacks of boxes at my dad's house. I had one of those big IKEA grid shelves, and it was completely full of just Monster High boxes. I had like, oh my god, and there were stacks of them on the floor. There were stacks of them in my closet at my mom's house. And finally one day I said, like, why am I doing this? I never look at these. I never think about them. I never even think about my doll's value. Like, I don't care. So I went through, I cut out some clippings of, like, the pretty art from the... I like back cards. I think they're cool. I don't see a problem with keeping those. So sometimes I'll keep them. So I went through, because for all those, like, at least 5 years at that point for some of those dolls that I had kept their boxes, I decided I will honor them and keep at least one piece of art from each box. So I went through and cut all those out. And to this day, I don't think about it. I don't care. I don't care that I don't have the boxes. I really don't. It doesn't bother me. If something's not bringing you any kind of value in your life, then get rid of it. To me, I like having a lot of dolls. This is what I like. I like having a lot of options when I want to do photography or when I want to, like, play with them or display them or whatever I want to do. This is how I like to collect them. But having their box very rarely does anything for me. Sometimes I do keep them, like my Mycene dolls specifically. I kept their boxes just because I'm opening dolls from like 25 years ago. Their boxes are neat. I like the art on the back. If I find if I find boxed ones again and buy them, I'll just throw away the extra boxes that I have. I don't really care. But don't keep it if it doesn't have any value in your life. Don't keep it because someone else told you you should. It's not going to do anything for you. Ultimately, selling a complete Monster High doll versus selling a complete Monster High doll with her box, even though she's out of her box, is going to make no difference. You might make like $2 extra. Wow, congrats! That was worth all the real estate in your home and all the clutter. No, it wasn't. It's just, there's this weird thing that goes on with doll collecting, and I do it too, and I'll tell you what it is. When people feel the need to keep all these things, a lot of the time it's not because they actually like having the box or they like the art on the box or anything like that. It's because their way of justifying that they're a doll collector, and I do this too. I used to do this a lot when I was an early doll collector because I wasn't as confident or proud of it. I would tell people, oh, well, this doll's worth a lot of money, and see, I have her box, I have her comb, I have all the stupid little inserts from her box. Like, I used to keep, you know how, like, each Monster High doll had little blurbs on little circles that were next to them? I would keep those. I would have a little bag of them. And I'd say, oh, but look at this eBay sold listing. They're worth money. I'm not just keeping dolls like a child. I'm an investor, but I'm not planning to sell them. Even if I do, like, I'm not planning to become a millionaire, because you're not. Ultimately, someone selling their doll in the box versus me selling it out of the box, it's not that big of a difference for most situations, and the other situations, I just don't care. I'm enjoying them. I'm having fun. This is the way that I enjoy them. That's it. So I feel like we need to let go of trying to justify it to people, because the best justification for your hobby is because I want to, because I like it. There's something about this doll that makes me happy. I like taking pictures of her. I like looking at her. Sometimes I just sit and do this, and I'm like, ooh, shiny colors. That's it. That's all I need. That is all you need to say. You don't need to justify what you do to anyone else. It's your life. You're just gonna, like, die and be rotting in a hole someday. You might as well have a good time. And if collecting your dolls is the thing that you want to do, then just do it. Who cares if someone's like, well, that's weird. I remember the other day, actually, I was buying, I was at the flea market video, that Annika doll that I saw, I was remarking, oh, like, to Brett, I was letting him know, like, oh, this one, you see how much she costs? I just got her for $20 and I opened her and I really love her. And the lady overheard me saying that, and she's like, ooh, that was a lot of money you missed out on. And I was like, and? That's not the point to me. I don't care. I do like that doll in box. I'd like to have one in box, but she was a childhood doll for me. I wanted to have another one. I wanted to have a perfect one. The logical step was to buy the cheapest one that I could find. The cheapest one I could find, strangely, was a boxed one, so I bought her and opened her. I'm very happy with my decision. I think she's beautiful. And she makes me happy, and that's it. And I don't care that she's worthless now. It's very weird. I think it's just, adults tend to have trouble justifying that they're just doing something that makes them happy, so they feel like they have to say, oh, it makes money, and I used to do that all the time. One time, Brett's parents came over to our apartment, like our first apartment, which was, if you saw, it's actually my pinned video on my channel right now. I'm working on making another one, but it's my doll room tour 2018 or 2019 or something. And that was the apartment. It was a studio apartment. It was just like a doll heaven. I feel like Brett must have hated it though. It was just absolutely dolls everywhere. And I loved it. It made me so happy. And his parents came over and they were like, what's up? And me and Brett both were like, oh, well, she makes the outfits for them, even though I really don't. A couple of them I did at the time. And look, I made these wings that they're wearing. Aren't they neat? Or like, her YouTube channel makes money. Did you know that? Like, she's making money off her doll collection. And it wasn't Brett being toxic. I started it, you know, I started that. I was like, oh, well, no, like, I make money. It's not that weird. But, like, who cares if it makes money or not? It should have just been like, that's Lego. Just, who cares if it makes money or not, if it makes me happy? I don't think they actually would have cared. They wouldn't have been like, Brett, you have to run. This girl's crazy. She has dolls. I don't know. Anyway, I brought these over here for some kind of tangent. We're gonna sit here and process it for a minute. Oh, I guess what I was gonna say, so, when my dad bought me this doll, this is my original Silver Believix Bloom, I got her in, like, what, 2013? I got her a long time ago. He told me, like, you can't open this one. And when somebody buys me a present and specifically says I can't open it, I do take that seriously, just because they spent their money on it. If they want me to keep it this way, that's fine. Although I prefer opening them. So for years, this was just a random doll on my shelf. I never really thought about her or talked about her. She was just, like, at the top. The only time I ever talked about her, actually, funny enough, was to be like, look, I have this one. There's only 510 of them in the world, and I have number 456. Isn't that neat? Wow. Anyways, and then I would move on. And that was kind of the extent of it. The only real estate that she took up in my mind was, look at how rare that doll is. And then one day, sorry, her box is covered in fingerprints. That's the thing I don't like about these boxes. They, like, attract dust and fingerprints. Anyway, then it all changed when I found this lovely baby on eBay. I paid $45 for her, and my dad paid like $40 for this one back in 2013. So I was so proud of finding this doll, and I just kind of bought her because I was like, oh, I want to have a full out-of-box collection of wings, so I might as well. And she came, and she instantly was my favorite doll of all time, like in my entire collection at the time, and even to this day, she's in probably the top 5 of my all-time favorite dolls in my entire collection. I just think she's absolutely fantastic. I can't get over her. I think every detail is perfect, and she's so beautiful. And I took her to South America, or Central America with me. I take her everywhere I go. The first time I went to my college tour, I took her with me. She's like my favorite doll, just to be here with me. And I never would have given her a second glance had I not gotten the one out of box. And that's just, to me, exemplifies this well, you know? This was just another doll to me. She was just in the box. I was bored. I didn't care. And then I got this one, and it just completely shattered my reality. I was like, oh my god, these dolls are amazing. So then after that, I bought another blue one, because my dad also bought me the blue one that I wasn't allowed to open. And I listened. I just bought another one in a damaged box so I could open her. I think I paid $45 for her too, actually. Maybe $60. I think I paid more for blue. For some reason, blue tends to sell more than silver, at least at the time. And then, here's my growth moment. So, my mom just randomly one day came to visit me. Well, it wasn't random. She came to visit me in, like, October. No, it was November, I think. I think it was it Thanksgiving? It's probably Thanksgiving. Anyway, my mom just came to visit. And, like, her second day of her visit, she called me upstairs. Because I sleep in the basement. And she was sleeping in Brett's bed, and Brett was down here with me. And she called me upstairs, and she was like, open the box. And I opened the box, and this doll was in there. Brand new in her box. Perfect box. And I was dumbfounded. I had noticed that my mom, because this was one of the last dolls I needed for my Jax collection. She's exceedingly hard to get. She is genuinely rare. There's very few of them in the world, and I wanted her so bad. She was like my most wanted for forever, you know? I really wanted to complete this set because I love the silver and the blue ones so much, and I really wanted to complete Jax Specific Winx because it's like one of my favorite doll things to ever happen, and it's kind of what inspired me to collect dolls, and I just absolutely love them. So, she bought her for me, and I was so stunned. But you know what she said that was different? She said, well, are you gonna open her? She didn't say, leave that in box, Brooke. I spent a lot of money on that. She did get a good deal. It wasn't like $1,000. I think it was like $300. She said, like, are you gonna open it? And I was like, oh, yes, I am. And she was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. And that was that. I didn't have to justify myself anymore because I stopped acting like that towards her. I never was like, Mom, look at this doll I got. She's so rare and expensive. I'm gonna make a lot of money when I sell her on my deathbed in 50 years. I didn't say that. I just say like, Mom, look how pretty this doll I got was. And I think the difference in the way that I perceived my collection, because I never once perceived my collection as this big money, or this, guys, I never perceived my they're fighting over a bag. Guys, come here. Yeah. Anyway, I never, ever, ever perceived my collection as an investment or something that was gonna make me rich one day, because that's just not gonna happen. It's not, I'm sorry. I mean, not over the dolls. Guys, come on, come here. It was never something that was on my mind. It was never a reason that I bought the dolls. It was never a reason that I collected them. I just didn't. But I felt like I had to tell other people that that was why. So yeah, when I stopped doing that and I was fully confident about it and stopped saying, ooh, this one's so rare and valuable, and like, oh, it became more exciting for me too. And it's so crazy when I meet other adults now and they ask me what my hobbies are and I just say, oh, I collect dolls. They're never like, what? They're like, oh, cool, what kind? Like, and I'm like, Bratz, Monster High. And they're like, oh my god, I love Bratz. I had those as a kid. I'm like, cool. And it's just, it doesn't have as much stigma as, I mean, coming from a white female, that doesn't mean much, but truly, unless it puts you in a dangerous situation, I know that there's very, very different situations and very, very different, like, cultures around this, and I completely understand if you have to hide it, that's completely different. But say, like, with your McDonald's coworkers, I work at McDonald's, I just can't stop mentioning it, I think it's, anyway, with my Ronald McDonald pals, if it's like a safe place to mention it, but you're not mentioning it just because you're scared of being judged, honestly, no one cares. The only people that actually care are, like, horrible, terrible people that hate you for a completely different reason, and it's not because you collect dolls, I promise. For some reason, collecting dolls, especially as a male or non-binary person, carries this, like, heavy connotation that's really disgusting and completely untrue, and it's very weird that has developed. But outside of that, normal people, like, 90% of the population does not care, I promise. Like, I promise you. If it's just your normal peer group and there's no danger in it except that you think you might get bullied for it, I don't think that you will. And if you do, then those people have exposed themselves as booty holes and you don't have to ever associate with them again. That's kind of my take on it. I've never actually had someone treat me poorly because I collect dolls. That's never happened to me. But again, I am the demographic. I'm the, like, generic doll collector. Well, young people are never considered doll collectors. Like, they never get looked at. Like, every time I go to a doll place, like a doll show or a doll convention or, like, any kind of space where doll collectors gather, I'm very, very, very different from everybody else in the room. There's a stereotypical doll collector that's an old lady or, but I don't fit that, but I don't care. Personally, I just do what I want and it makes me happy. And that's all you need. Just do what makes you happy. You don't have to tell people if you don't want to, obviously, but I'm just saying, if you have told people that you only collect them for money, rethink that, because then they're gonna see it that way too. And they're gonna be like, when they see you at the park next week taking pictures of your doll for the doll model competition, they're gonna be real confused that you're bringing your expensive, valuable doll outside into the wilderness. Because that's kind of, I love I brought her over for the Disney limited edition part, but I didn't pick her up. But anyway, like, oh my god, there's so many details to so many different dolls that I never would have seen or fully appreciated unless I took them out of the box. And one of the, people love when I do my Disney limited edition videos, it's just, I can't really do them until the releases come. I actually did buy 5 limited edition dolls in the past, like, month, though, so maybe. It's usually, though, I can't do them until the releases happen, but people love when I do these videos because they're like, oh my gosh, I leave mine in the box and I really wanted to know what her shoes looked like, or I wanted to know what the back of the dress looked like, or how the hair looked and stuff like that. And it makes me sad because some of those people I truly feel like are kind of just being peer pressured or, like, bullied into leaving their dolls in the box, because truly, anytime I post my photography to a Disney limited edition, like, Facebook group, I do get attacked. I did one, I was kind of doing it to, like, rouse people a little bit. I did an Ariel cosplay, and then I swam with my Ariel doll. And, boy, the comments on that were great, because it was that limited edition Ariel doll. But I really wanted to do those pictures anyway, but I should not have posted them into that group. That was kind of just me being like, because I wanted to see if they would be mad, and oh, they were. They were. But, that's just kind of a proof of concept there. I don't know. But certain groups are a lot meaner than others, so I have a strange feeling that a lot of Disney limited edition collectors are only leaving them in the box because they're kind of told to. But ultimately, outside of the online space, I don't really think anybody cares, like, ever. Like, I actually met a limited edition Disney doll collector through a job. Can you believe that? And she leaves hers in the box, and I showed her pictures of my collection and stuff, and she was just like, neat. She wasn't like, oh my god, you took them out of the box? She was actually like, oh my gosh, I really wanted to take this one out of the box, but I have them all in the box, so she would be kind of out of place, and I would feel bad. And I was like, no, I got you. I have one. I'll pan the camera up a little bit. Look, it's a mess up there. Sorry. I have one limited edition Disney doll in the box, and it's my non-Voyager Moana, because the Voyager Moana is so vastly superior that I just don't feel the need to open the other one. And that's the only one I have in the box, and it's certainly the only one I'm going to have in that style of box, because that's the old style. So I kind of feel like she's out of place, but I don't really want to open her, to be honest. She's a beautiful doll, but I feel like in her box, I love her stance, and I love all of, like, the way her accessories are displayed and the way her outfit looks and stuff. And I don't see her being an asset to photography because her face doesn't do it for me as much. And honestly, there are a few dolls in my life that I wish that I left in the box, like the Frozen Traveler outfits, the original Frozen 2 release, where they're just the movie poster design. I don't like those outfits. Their faces are very specific to the movie poster. They're so much better in the box, in my opinion, and I wish that I'd left them in. But they were my first ones, and we hadn't had the Show Yourself Elsa and Queen Anna confirmed, so I opened them. I'm not, like, mad or, like, kicking myself over it, but sometimes I'm like, God, I would really enjoy those dolls more if they were in the box, because they're the movie posters, so keeping them in the box just makes sense. Anyways, I think I'm gonna go. I think maybe I've gotten to everything. If not, though, we can, like, have a chat in the comments. We always do. I really feel so lucky that y'all are so open to, like, commenting and having chats with me. It's really cool, because I like doing it. Although I can't get to all the comments all the time. Honestly, though, if you notice that I have not responded to a single comment on one video, but every comment on the other video, sometimes I upload videos, like, 5 minutes before I go to work. That's why I'm not responding to the comments. I went to work, and then I uploaded another video after I got home from work and took my nap, and then the spiral, so that's what's happening there. So sorry if I missed your comment. I do read them all, at least, because I get notifications, but sometimes, honestly, too, I'll respond to every comment on a video but one, and it's never on purpose unless the comment's just wild. Sometimes the comment's just wild and wacky, and I just want to let it sit in itself, you know, but you would know if you commented something like that, like, you know. Anyway, you know, that's just your punishment, is that you just get to sit there. You don't even get a response. You just get, like, a whew. Anyway, again, that's when it's, like, some creepy comment or something. But where was I going with that? I don't even know. Oh, sometimes YouTube just holds a comment for absolutely no reason. I remember one time I was really sad because one of my P.O. Box videos, I think I asked a question to the person who sent something, and they never responded, and I was really sad. I was like, oh no, did they not see the video? Were they, like, mad at me? And then I looked, and there's a spam section on my YouTube that holds certain comments that have certain words, and I pick some of those words, like the creepy ones, so that they automatically get held, but some YouTube just automatically holds. For some reason, the word package is being held. I have a theory as to why, but it's annoying. And I hadn't checked the held for review section in a while, and there was that comment. I felt so bad because it was like 5 days later when I finally responded to them. And sometimes also it just doesn't notify me. Like, it doesn't show up in my little... I have, like, a special creator area that has, like, a comments thing where I can reply to comments, but it is terrible because I think most big YouTubers don't have an issue with this because they don't respond to their comments, right? Which is valid. They have way too many to respond to. But I think a lot of creators just don't even look at the comments. The comments are just another thing to boost the video in the algorithm. But when it's a creator that actually likes the comments and wants to read and look at them, it's really annoying because the system is not good. It used to be better, but they removed it. It used to be all the comments were in chronological order, So you could see if you reply back to me after I reply to your comment, if I don't get a phone notification, I will never see it. There's no way for me to see it. There's no recent activity section. There's nothing. It's only whatever the most recent comment that I have not responded to is. That's the only one I can see. And then I can say, I can ask it to show me even ones that I've responded to, but even then I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. I'm trying. It's difficult. And then sometimes they don't show up on the video page. This is a tangent that has nothing to do with anything. I've been wanting to do a video that's like housekeeping, just talking about some stuff, because I feel like I need to set a few ground rules lately, but it's fine. Anyway, I think that's really it this time. I just like dolls, and I want to touch them. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching for all this time. Bye!